welcome back to Liquid Lunch. We're here, and we got David Cohen here, and it's just such a small world because Jeanette didn't know, Dave, that I already knew you and that you've been here before, and we've had coffee and stuff like that. And,
yeah, I have been here before, as we say in radio. It's DJ Vu.
DJ Vu. And you're here all week.
I'm here all week. Try the deal. I like the liquid, by the way. It's good.
You know, David and I go back a long way. I was a guest twice on your show, Small Business Big Ideas radio show, formerly at CKDO in Oshawa, now
online, like you guys are doing, which is, I think, the future.
Yes.
Well, for sure.
What station are you with?
Radio thatdoesn't.suck.com or rtds.ca.
Oh, that's so cute.
New website.
Wait a sec. Radio thatdoesn't.suck.com.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
hey, but Jeanette mentioned you're doing, is it TV on the radio?
Radio.
Okay.
Radio. Radio on the radio.
Okay.
Radio on the radio.
Look at this face. Do I have a face for radio? No.
For television.
For television, I mean? I have a face for radio.
But you got a great voice for radio.
There you go.
And you have always a good show filled with great ideas for the small business entrepreneur. And, you know, it's Small Business Entrepreneur Week that we're celebrating here. And I guess, you know, I mentioned earlier, too, that this is a show for business, coaching, and learning. And my first question to you, because today's segment is all about why Canadian small business is thriving and what others who want to be in small business can do to thrive. My first question to you, because you had a lot of experience at this, what do you feel makes for a really successful entrepreneur? What's the secret to being a successful entrepreneur?
That's a $64,000 question.
Yeah,
I think
I'll take it now.
And, you know, I think the key is, you know, you have to have passion for what you do and a love for what you do. That's number one key to success. The other thing is get really clear that you can't do it all yourself, you know? Like, you know, start to build and plan your business so that you've got help around you and a team around you. You know, Hugh, I'm sure when you started off, I know you were doing it all yourself, and then all of a sudden you've got now a producer and an assistant and hosts and everything. So surround yourself with really good people and get some help. Parcel off the things or the aspects of your business that you hate to do. Like, I hate accounting, not my thing, right? Bookkeeper, they love it. They love the books, right? So I give it off to them. So, you know, plan your business where you don't have to be doing everything, and you can work on the things that you love to do and the things that make you money. The other thing is make sure that you've got enough money to live on for at least 6 months, and that you're financed. I'm a big believer too of bootstrapping it, which means let the business pay the way, and you don't have to buy the best website, you don't have to buy the best equipment, you can grow into things. You don't have to, you know, be behind the 8 ball and be in debt right at the beginning. So grow into your business and don't, you know, try not to finance till you're, you know, you're just too stressed out, because you know your business is really an expression of joy and passion, and so you want to be in that state.
It's an expression of you.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave. It seems to me that, and I don't know if you covered all the things, but those two things seems like there's a dynamic tension between you want to surround yourself with good people because you can't do it all, and yet you don't want to finance the business either. Ideally, you want to grow it, have the business grow the business, but you know. At some point, sometimes if you don't have the money, if you don't have the capital, it's difficult to surround yourself with people sometimes because they need to get paid for the work that they're doing.
Trade your services if you can. You know, Jeanette is the PR magnet, right?
Marketing magnet.
Former PR magnet, now the marketing.
A little bit of both now, yeah.
You know, trade your services. You've got a TV station now, an online TV station. Hey, you know, I'll give you airtime in exchange for bookkeeping or something. You know, I think we have to learn, I think what this economy that we're in now is showing us is we have to learn to do things differently. And so, you know, trade off on some of the talents that you have and really get present to what your gifts and what you have to offer that's in abundance, that you're really good at, and see if you can trade services in order to
But not everyone's open to trade.
True.
So I think maybe also creating a budget that will allow for some payment or some, you know, maybe a combo of the two, trade and some payment. Because at some point, I think you have to realize that a budget is necessary.
Yeah, and you're right, and you're right too, Hugh. So what you might want to do is just start off small and hire maybe a bookkeeper at what, $18 to $25 an hour. Get some help along the way. And often too, you know what happens? When you free up time and you can have maybe more time to sell or market or get business coming in, guess what? That service now pays for itself. That free time, that gift of time that you can spend business developing is huge.
Okay, what do you think are some of like the biggest challenges small business face? And is it really the economy, or is that just kind of a myth? Because actually Canada's doing very well in its economy.
I think the economy is a little stagnant here in Canada. I really do. I think it's a little bit, slow right now, although we are doing better than, our U.S. counterparts. I think the biggest challenge I find, there's a few. The biggest one I think is the lack of our ability to sell and market, and our fear that goes into direct selling and building relationships. I'm really finding, with the advent of online social marketing, we all want to do business at arm's length, and it's like, I think what's happening and what I'm finding is with a lot of my colleagues, we're getting tired of online social marketing. It's like Facebook fatigue. And I think we got to go back maybe a little bit and go back to the old ways of, actually making a call, making a prospecting call, or booking a sales meeting, doing a presentation. I think if we can get really good at selling and marketing and communicating in person with somebody and building clients one by one by one, I think that will go a long way towards someone's success. And I think that's a big gap for a lot of small business owners, the fear of selling, and they don't know what goes into it. And there's a bad sort of, image that goes with selling.
So what's your recommendation on how to overcome that fear?
Well, number one is get some coaching, and that's what I do, for example. But the other thing is just read. Become a student of sales. Sales really is about relationship building, and really at the heart of it, it's about talking to people about what their challenges and problems are, and trying to come up with a solution. That's all it is.
Which is a way better way to think, because people don't like to think of themselves as salespeople because they think they're trying to get something from people.
Yeah.
But if you view the whole sales function as, I'm here to help whoever I'm talking to, it totally changes your approach.
Totally. It's you want to position yourself as a solution provider, as an idea person, as an ally to someone's company. What's wrong with that? I mean, it behooves us to share our gifts and share our ideas with someone else.
And we all have problems, and we all need solutions, right? I mean, the only 2 or 3 things we buy because we need, one is food, one is toilet paper, and
gas for the car.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of it is all basically a solution to a particular need.
Yeah, or a problem.
And toilet paper is a solution to a particular need.
You had me at toilet paper, Jeanette.
Stop there.
When a business is growing, actually, this isn't really my question. Some small business people.
Whose question is it then?
Yes, whose question?
And it's a question for you.
Oh,
okay. It's my question for you. Some small business people want to stay small, and it's really about their thinking. And do you find that sort of stumping themselves?
I think if you want to stay small, and that might not be, in our businesses, and might not be the right clients for us. I think, but if you want to stay small, stay small. If you want to grow and expand and see how high you can go, then go for it. I like to talk to those kind of businesses personally. I don't want to, really talk to those that are really wanting to stay small and do it maybe on a part-time basis.
Canadian small business now accounts for a huge representation in what is generated in the general economy, more than any other segment. It's fast growing, and where do you see it going?
I think it's going to grow more. There's some real key trends to watch. One is the aging population. So the boomers are now turning 65, right? And that a notion of freedom 65 or freedom 55 that we all had is kind of changing, right? So they're called seniorpreneurs. And CIBC came out with a report that one of the largest growing sectors in the small business world are seniorpreneurs. So people that are retiring now or turning 65 or in their 50s, the boomers, are really starting to look at starting a small business. You know, the other big thing, trend. So first of all, you know, I don't want to retire, but I want to do something, and I want to do something with my life. So I see it growing from that segment there. The 50-somethings are thinking, you know, they're getting downsized and right-sized, and they're getting fed up with the work world. And so I think that you'll see there is more people saying, to heck with this. I'm real tired of working. There's more, you know, month at the end of the money in my job. I'm going to try something on my own. So you're going to see a huge growth there. And I think for youth, and there's a lot of entrepreneurial initiatives in the province and in the city for youth entrepreneurs, I think youth are going to look at starting their business as opposed to going to work for, you know, $10 an hour as at a coffee shop or something like that. So I think we'll still see a rise in self-employment. It might have to be balanced with a little bit of work to pay the bills and self-employment to do what you really want to do.
What's one of the best areas to become self-employed in?
Oh boy, that's the other 64,000 question. I think
we got to give some meat to the viewers.
I don't know that there is a best area. I mean, in terms of what I see in as far as growth, I think the guest you had on previous, healthcare. We are getting older. I think that's the next big growth areas in healthcare and alternative healthcare providers. As we get older, we got to manage our health, right? And maybe that's more important than buying a new car or buying a new hat or whatever it is that you want to buy. So I think healthcare is going to be huge. I think you know, services for people that are getting older, you know, like you know, home care services is going to be big. And what am I seeing out there a lot? More service sector jobs and
there seems to be a coach for everything.
A coach for everything. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You know, it's almost like as you're talking about this, I'm thinking, because even the whole coaching thing, which is huge,
it's big.
It's like this is the kind of business that a lot of people who have expertise, say in management or in business, and now they are doing what you just said. You know, they're leaving their jobs, whether voluntarily or not, and this is the business that they go into. They figure, this is my biggest assets, my expertise. I want to start to teach other people how to do this. Well, yeah,
There's
I
a
know.
difference between coaching and consulting.
Yeah, there is.
But my real question here is that if everybody's doing this and everybody's coaching everybody else, like, and the jobs that are producing, like our manufacturing sector has been devastated. It's a lot of that production's gone overseas. Are we all going to be walking around trying to sell our services to other people that don't have any money?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, that's another growth sector, is showing people how to make more with their money. So anything cost savings, you know. I just spoke to a woman today, interviewed a woman today from Oregon, and they're doing swaps, community swaps. So, hey, you know what? I got an abundance of screwdrivers at home. I'm going to go to the community swap, and I'll give you my screwdrivers, but I need new jackets. And look at that. You know, Hugh brought nice clothes that I can wear, right?
You know, I just saw an article.
So swapping is a bit like bartering.
I just saw a video on that. Maybe we even have it in. This is what they're doing in Argentina. Of course, they've had a big currency crisis there, and now communities all across Argentina are having these big community swaps with, you know, everybody goes there, and they don't use the official currency even. They use a special script that they create just for these swaps.
Yeah, there's no currency in swaps. It's just, you know, I got this, you want it? Yeah, I do, and then I want that.
So it's a take on barter, and it's actually, you know, it's really not a new concept. It's been around, I mean, that's how we used to trade.
Right. I think, you know, as Hugh was alluding to about coaches and everybody's going to become a coach. Not everybody's going to become a coach, because that's not in everybody. But what I think the one thing we're guaranteed of in life these days, there's always problems. So if you can come up with a business that's going to solve a problem, then you should be okay for a few years, you know? So, yeah.
But it's also about what you do with your sales when you have them in those first few years. So, I mean, divvying up, you know, your profits and making sure you put something away for a rainy day and to put back into your business for marketing, not just spending it all.
No, you don't want to spend it all. You do want to have a financial plan You want to have a plan for insurance. You want to have a plan in the event you get sick and your business can't run anymore. So you want to really go in into your business with all eyes open. And you know what I say is plan for the worst, but play for the best, right?
And how important is it to have a business plan?
Oh, totally. You know, you need it. Like, that's the life, you know, without knowing where you're going to go or where you want to go, how are you going to get there? If I told you to, you know, go to Timbuktu or what, no, go to Saskatchewan and you don't know how to get there exactly, you're going to get lost, right?
And it's going to take you a little longer to get
Exactly. Now, you don't need a full, like, 50-page, you know, opus for a business plan. There are these new concepts called the one-page business plan, which I really like. And really, what you're also doing in the one-page business plan is you're tracking what am I going to do in the next 6 months to get to where I want to go. So it's like almost like your master to-do list kind of thing, or your action plan.
and it's got a little accountability there.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of it too. I call it a marketing plan. It's part of a business plan, but still, I mean, and yet so many clients I see or people I meet who are in small business at various events do not have a plan.
I know, it's scary.
And also do not have a target focus or any kind of niche, and try and basically, you know, up business from wherever they can.
I know, fly by the seat
and they can't survive that way. They don't understand why they can't survive. This is like a key mistake, and I'd like to sort of bring this up to what, in your experience, because you know you've been at this game a long time, like myself. What are the common mistakes or sort of the things that really kind of put people out of business faster than they should be?
Well, number one, their financing. Number two, not having a plan. And you're right, I spoke at a networking event. It was a board of trade up north of the city a little bit. I won't name cities. And then I went in and I spoke. I said, okay, how many of you at the board of trade have a business plan? Less than half. That's scary. So have a plan, know where you want to go. Yeah, I think the key is you have to get clear, you know, clear on who you are and what value you bring and what solutions you bring to the table. That's number one. Number two, get clear, as you said, on who's your market, who's your ideal client, who's the niche, where do you really want to play, who do you want to talk to, and really focus in on the niche. And then, so get clear as to what the value is, make sure you have a plan, make sure you know your customer inside and out, keep doing research, and just continue to market and try different things to market, and be consistent too with your messaging.
Yeah, that's a big problem, is not being consistent with your messaging, not being consistent with their brand, and not understanding why that leads to problems.
Yeah, because people don't want to guess. Like, you know what McDonald's is, right? No matter
exactly.
where you are.
And you know what you're going to get there. That you know what the expectation is, right? And that communicating that is very important. That's something, you know, I'm a big proponent of. I do a lot of work in, is making sure that you communicate a solid message and that it's consistent. But you mentioned about marketing, and I think that, you know, sometimes marketing is a bit of a trial and error. And it can be minimalized, that trial and error, and some of the costs associated with it, by really sticking to maybe 3 or 4 key marketing areas.
Definitely.
In your opinion, what are like 2 or 3 must-dos to market yourself?
Well, number one, and you're really good at it, Jeanette,
Thank
is
you.
Networking. And you're like a master networker as far as I'm concerned. So that's number.
I just like people.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a people person.
Yeah, and it's fun. You know, you go, you meet somebody.
You schmooze your cruise.
Yeah, it's true. And I think another thing is be friends with the phone and be okay with making your prospecting calls. I have found, like most businesses I've been in, and I've been in other businesses besides what I do now, you know, I built my way by making calls and reaching out and trying to get appointments. And yeah, sometimes, you know, I don't get that meeting right away. But it could take a year or two to get there, but I'll get there eventually. And
you got to think of it as a process, a sales funnel. You know, you got to load it up at the front end to have it spit out something at the other end, right?
Yeah, and you know, if you call somebody, first of all, don't call looking for a sale. Call looking for a meeting, so you get to know that person.
I think personally that the oldies but goodies work in marketing. It really doesn't have to be complicated. It should be simplified to a few key strategies, and kind of getting those down before you go and add what I call the spice, you know, like you were saying, so many people just, think social media is it. You get friends on Facebook, you get followers on Twitter, and you have a business and you close sales. And it actually does not work that way at all. It's only good for building your visibility.
Yeah.
So I really think that before you, and maybe you agree with this or maybe you don't agree with it, but before you get into these sort of advanced add-on marketing campaigns, I think the basics still work. Email marketing, which is also very cost effective. Getting out, networking, meeting with people, picking up the phone. The oldies but goodies, the personal touch.
Direct mail. I love, Canada Post is going to love us. And direct mail works. I love sending like little tchotchkes and gifts out to people. Or
cards, like send out cards.
Or a card, send out cards. Something that's personal that people get. And they love it because what it does too, it breaks up their day and it cuts through the clutter. I mean, we're exposed to 3,000 commercial messages a day, so you got to cut through the clutter. Getting something personalized
and that doesn't include the stuff that's going
on
in your head.
50,000 thoughts. I'm a Scorpio. Half of those are about sex. So, I'm doomed, right?
Oh yeah, your birthday's coming up.
Yeah. Thanks.
What sign are you, Jeanette?
Leo.
Fire and water mixed wouldn't work.
Okay. Well, you know what? One thing that I'm learning here that makes sense to me. What?
What sign are you?
Yeah, what are you?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh,
September,
just
like my dad.
Well,
October.
Dad! Oh, yeah, we missed your birthday.
Late August.
Oh, late August.
But, yeah.
Virgos are sexy, eh?
Yeah,
Are they?
Yeah.
They're usually very critical and nitpicky.
Oh, we're very critical. But we're always right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are our Scorpios, so I have to tell you. Leos might have a bone to pick.
Oh, of course they do.
I have no bones to pick.
'cause
See,
they got
that's another thing. I think in business, it's kind of like things happen and you just have to keep going and you can't get too caught up with yourself or take things too seriously or hold grudges because it just doesn't benefit you.
It's not going to get you anywhere, and you got to. I think it's really important too to have a bit of balance, So when you do have those moments of frustration, like I remember in the summer I was going through like, oh man, 3 weeks nothing was happening, right? And I went to my gym, and I had my workout, but I have boxing gloves, and I just took a few rounds at the big, the punching bag. Man, did that feel good, It really did. So I think balance is really critical.
It is. It really is. And a lot of people struggle to maintain balance.
Yeah.
I want to ask one really good question before we kind of close
the others
out.
were like not good?
No, but this is really about you.
Oh, okay.
What made you want to take on a show dedicated to small business?
That's a good question. I love radio, first of all, and I think Hugh, you know that in our chats, and I just love radio. I've always had a passion for radio. I actually took radio television journalism and didn't even want to look at TV. I wanted radio, and way back when I got into the sales end of things in radio and then in marketing and so on and so forth. Anyway, fast forward, it was sort of like the 2000s, and I'm all of a sudden I'm listening to this show out west online called Success Talk Radio, and I went, oh man, that's really cool. I like what this guy's doing. His name's Alan Unken. He's a friend of mine on Facebook actually. Then I'd listen to this guy on CFRA in Ottawa over the internet, and his name was James Madouk, and he had this small business heroes show, and I went, I really like that. So I, fortunately or unfortunately, lost a job, and I went to a vision workshop one weekend, and I went, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start my own radio show. And I pitched stations, and CKDO in Durham said yes in 2002, and I went to town, and started the Small Business Big Ideas show. I just love the notion of doing a talk show that's smart, that's intelligent, and helps other people. And I love the entrepreneurial spirit.
Well, see, that's great because, and now it's a real entrepreneurial venture, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, whereas you might have thought of it, that kind of thing in the past, not as an entrepreneurial venture. It's almost like everything now that you can think. The universe is opened up to everybody to do absolutely anything they want.
Yeah.
But they got to think of it smartly. They got to, like an entrepreneur, and they have to. And getting back to the thing that I am getting from this conversation here, is that we really have to all step it up a notch.
Yeah.
We have to become more professional. We have to become better at what we do. And
Yeah.
if that means hiring people that are going to do a better job at one aspect of the business than we can do, then we got to do that. And
Yeah.
if that means getting a coach, then we got to do that.
And we need more community too. We got to get off our butts, get out of the TV, and go and make things happen. This is time of change, and it's up to us to make that
But
change.
actually, you can also embrace technology as we have to create a community, and that's what you've done too. You've created a community, a hub for small businesses where you provide tools and resources. I'm kind of doing the same thing with a different twist for women's needs and their women in business needs. But we're both creating communities, we're both communicating specific tools, specific needs, specific resources, and we are problem solvers. And in doing that, we're niching ourselves. And I think that really, you know, that combined with your passion is what makes you lead and succeed.
Thanks. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I did my radio show today. I recorded it today for broadcast next week. I love it. You must love what you do every day. It's like, I never get tired of it.
I absolutely love what I do, and I love being part of everything that I do, including being with you.
I like being with you too. But yeah, the teaching or coaching, I love it all. It's an honor to do the work we do.
So, and seeing as you brought up your coaching, we announced this earlier. We will re-announce it now because we kind of are running out of time.
We have that gift.
We have your giveaway, which is 2 separate 1-hour business coaching sessions with David, valued at $125 each. And instead of doing call-in today, we're actually doing email-in. So again, that'll go to the first 2 emails that we receive, and you'll get that. So contact us at
ThatChannel.com.
And don't forget to, because anybody who's looking to start a business or has a business can really benefit from this.
Yeah, and I specialize in sales and marketing, you know, how to go get clients.
And that's the, you know, for sure, every small business needs that, right? It's, you got to get that revenue in the door. So that's awesome.
Money. It's not going to come from your uncle.
Less talk, more sales.
Well, it may, but can't count on it. So we're both doing that. We're both, you know, we approach it from different ways, but that's basically, what we're on it. So we want to thank David.
Yeah, of course we do.
Well, I want to thank you too. Do I get a gift? Do I get to keep the mug or something?
Well, we should... maybe we could find one we can give to you, Dave.
A parting gift?
What we'd have to do is put your picture on one, and then we can give it to you.
It's Canadian TV. You know, a case of high C.
Yeah, or Castrol GTX motor oil.
Yes,
right?
that'll keep you going.
Okay, so, but David, before you go, before we say bye, I just want to make sure people know where they can see your radio show again. You mentioned radiothatdoesn't-suck.com.
Yeah, or rtds.ca. Or radiothatdoesn't-suck.com,
rtds.ca. And do you have a website for yourself and everything else you do?
I've got, you can go onto my blog, which is technicolorumbrella.com. technicolorumbrella.com.
Are we going to?
Yeah, I think we got it.
We do have it, maybe. Well, they're going to pull it
And
up.
your
They'll
other
do it.
site,
And my website is smallbusinessbigideas.com. I have a podcast link as well, white paper reports. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can tune into my podcasts and hear all the shows we do each week.
Well, is it Technicolor
.com.
Okay.
That's just my blog.
Is that it there?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
A little article on having a vision, which is also really important.
Awesome. Great.
And then smallbusinessbigideas.com will get you to know more about what I do, and it'll also allow you to access our podcast.
Okay, great. All right,
cool.
Dave.
There I am on TV.
There you are on TV, but we've looked at your website.
Cut that
it's
out.
Awesome.
And we want to mention that we will be back with a new Liquid Lunch and brand new Magnetic Marketing Moment for November, in November 21st. That's the 3rd Monday of the month of November, with a special show lining up guests already for that.
Okay.
And you'll be back tomorrow.
Yes, I will.
With Liquid Lunch.
Right here on ThatChannel.com. Thanks. Thank you, Jeanette, for doing this.
Thank you, Hugh, and thank you to the audience for tuning in with us today.
And great to see you again, Dave.
Thanks.
All the best. We'll talk to you soon.
You too.
Okay. So that's it. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. We've got that video, by the way, from Argentina. I don't know about Argentina, but about this whole barter thing, this whole need for people to get together. So we'll leave people with that. We'll see you tomorrow at noon, right here on ThatChannel.com.
Suburb of Buenos Aires, hundreds of people newly impoverished by the nation's economic crisis gather several times a week at this disused factory to take part in their own self-help solution to the disaster. This is a barter market, one of thousands which have sprung up throughout Argentina to fill some of the gaps left by the collapse of mainstream business. Here, trading is carried out using coupons called creditos, which can only be used inside the club. The country's national currency, the peso, plays no part in here at all. the network of barter markets has become a parallel economy.
Hoy hay, a 6 años de la fundación del primer club,
Barter Club coordinator Ruben Ravera says today, 6 years after the first club was founded, there are 1,400 of these markets linked through a powerful network with more than 150,000 members, which gives us a total number of people who you could say are affected by this type of exchange outside the formal economy of something over 500,000.
De algo más de medio millón de personas.
It's not only homemade clothing and other such goods that are traded in the barter clubs. People exchange food they've produced themselves and even services such as hairdressing, doctors, dentists and psychiatrists. Barter clubs don't pay any tax, but they're tolerated and even encouraged by the government because they act as a safety valve for the volcano of social discontent that's boiling up because of mass unemployment.
Hi, this is David Cohen with smallbusinessbigideas.com. And if you're looking to grow your business, or you're having a business challenge you need to overcome or brainstorm on, then that's what I do. I help you grow your business, get new clients, overcome business challenges, and help you on your way so your business runs smoothly, beautifully, and it's an expression of joy and an expression of your truest passion. So if you need a good business coach, I would love to work with you. You can reach me at www.smallbusinessbigideas.com or email me at thecoach@smallbusinessbigideas.com.